Well, tonight, the Indiana Black Legislative Caucus is asking the governor to step in to help the black community. News 8's multicultural reporter Katira Winfrey is here now with that story. Katira?
Well, Phil, data from the Indiana State Department of Health shows black people in Indiana account for 10% of the population, but make up nearly a quarter of the COVID-19 related deaths. I told you about that yesterday. Well, today, legislators say there are a lot of contributing factors for that, and an executive order may be needed to remove them. The Indiana Black Legislative Caucus is looking to take action to minimize COVID-19's impact in the black community.
And a colorblind approach cannot bring about equity when both the healthcare system and the structural conditions that inform it are so unequal.
The IBLC was behind the push to get Indiana State Department of Health to release data showing COVID-19's impact in minority communities. Now that the data is out, there's more work to do.
We have laid out 8 recommendations, and we're starting with a health disparity task force. This task force will address the COVID-19 racial disparities.
The first recommendation is to form a task force comprised partly of black healthcare providers, hospitals, health advocacy groups, and more. Some of the other recommendations include increasing funding for public health, anti-racism training for health workers, providing hazard pay and paid leave to essential workers, and set up triage and testing sites in black communities. The IBLC says we wouldn't need to wait for a legislative session to make this happen, that the governor could make an executive order.
This is not cutting edge. This is catch up. And we want to look at what other states are doing when it comes to best practices.
The IBLC says focusing on some of the most impacted and vulnerable groups creates a pathway to health equity for all Hoosiers as we work to beat the pandemic.
The more we can do to slow it down, the better it is for everybody.
And the hope is to eventually get COVID's impact broken down by zip code to help determine where potential testing or triage centers would go. And remember, right now, these are just recommendations. We'll have to wait to see what the governor has to say. Reporting in the studio, I'm Wish TV News 8's multicultural reporter, Katira Winfrey.